Skylar Diggins reportedly attacked Clark-Reese during a WNBA game, and then Sharpe revealed the issue on national television. This topic has been trending on social media, and we're here to break down every aspect for you. Make sure you stay around because we've got all the background, responses, and aftermath you need. Let's get to it.
A little bit of everything in this one, but the bottom line is Seattle wins, and they go to 2-3, and Clark and the Indiana Fever gave it a great effort, but they fall 2 points short, and they are now 0-5 on the season. My goodness.
To truly comprehend what transpired between Skylar Diggins and Clark, we must backtrack a little. Clark has been among the most talked about players in the WNBA this season. Leading her squad, the Indiana Fever, she is not only building a reputation for herself, but also ruffling some feathers along the road.
I think just reflecting back over my 4 years is I'm very grateful, starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID, and then obviously my sophomore year we had good crowds, the curtains were down a lot of the games, and now it's impossible to get a ticket to get in the door to our games. So, yeah. I think the people that have made it the most special, obviously my teammates, my coaches, but it isn't what it is without all of you. So seriously, I mean that, and I thank you. And this is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much.
Her ferocious competition, paired with her ability to excite the fans, has earned her a polarizing reputation on the court.
Yeah, I think for me, anytime you go up against somebody that's super competitive and has that same drive and will to win, that's what you love. That's what competitors love. These type of games is what makes our game so great. It's what people want to turn on the TV and watch. I expect the viewership numbers to be through the roof for this. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the pressure that she probably feels on the weight of her shoulders, and that's a lot to deal with somebody that's 22 years old and has that many eyeballs on her, and being able to manage that. And I know she probably has a lot of people around her that help her, and that's definitely something unique.
During a recent game against the Seattle Storm, emotions were already high. The Indiana Fever, captained by Clark, dominated the Storm. The game finished in a blowout, with the Fever claiming a dominating win. However, the drama did not finish with the final buzzer.
T-shirt Chery's record for most assists in a season by a rookie. Here's Clark speeding all the way in to the cup. Boston gets into the arms of Clark. Oh, the crossover, the throw.
After the victory, while Clark was celebrating with her teammates, Skylar Diggins, a seasoned league veteran and Seattle Storm player, approached Skylar apparently bumped into in an unexpected manner, which many are calling an assault. This wasn't a casual brush, it was a planned deed that shocked the WNBA community. Let's be clear, Clark is recognized for her passionate style of play and her excitement for energizing the audience. She wasn't trying to be nasty, she was just enjoying a hard-fought triumph. However, Skylar Diggins seems to have interpreted this incorrectly. The event was caught on film and rapidly went viral, igniting a heated discussion on social media.
That will officially do it. Indiana gets its first win of the season against Seattle. 92-75 the final. As Christy Sides and Noel Quinn exchange a long hug.
Sharpe, a former NFL great and now a well-known sports broadcaster, became aware of the occurrence. He was candid on his program. Shannon went off on Skylar Diggins, criticizing her behavior and supporting Clark. According to Shannon, Skylar's actions were extremely inappropriate and showed a lack of sportsmanship. Shannon's response was a combination of amazement and fury. He couldn't understand why a seasoned player like Skylar Diggins would engage in such behavior, particularly against a rising star like Clark. Shannon emphasized that Clark is the WNBA's future face, and acts like this are damaging to the league's reputation. When Sharpe's words aired, the social internet erupted. Fans and experts alike commented on the scenario. Some backed Skylar Diggins, claiming that Clark's actions were provocative and that she had it coming. Others agreed with Sharpe, saying that Skylar's behaviors were inappropriate and unprofessional.
In regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror. he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just step it up. Don't be scared. To my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just step it up. Don't be scared.
On Caitlin Clark's side, which may impact how the public sees the matter going forward. Fans' reactions have been divided. Caitlin Clark has a large following, and many of her followers have been vociferous in their defense. They regard her as the future of the WNBA and think other players are unjustly attacking her.
Let her cook. But if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'd have told Skylar Diggins, get your coat, your brim, and get on out of my gym.
Skylar Diggins also has admirers, and they have been vociferous in their support. They contend that Caitlin Clark's behavior on the court was disrespectful, while Skylar was only sticking up for herself. This gap among fans has generated a lot of attention around the WNBA.
You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
The WNBA has the chance to handle the problem in a manner that encourages sportsmanship and respect among its players. At the same time, they must be cautious not to crush the competitive spirit that makes the game so enjoyable to watch. So where are we going from here? The incident between Caitlin Clark and Skylar Diggins is far from done, and we can expect more drama as the season progresses. But one thing is certain, this rivalry has captivated the attention of fans and experts alike, and it isn't going away anytime soon. As usual, we'd like to hear your comments on the matter. Do you believe Skylar Diggins was out of line? Or do you think Caitlin Clark should tone down her on-court antics? Let us know in the comments section. Cowherd Colin, an American sports personality, didn't hold back in his post-game analysis toward Team USA, slamming into the coaching choices and squad selection process, sparking uproar among fans and commentators alike.
Injured, and it may open the door for Caitlin Clark to make the Olympic team.
Cowherd started by saying that once you get beyond the top 5, 6 players, selecting Olympic basketball teams for men and women may become political. He listed Isaiah Thomas, Jaylen Brown, and Kyrie Irving as examples of players who did not make the men's squad, implying that qualities other than pure basketball ability are sometimes considered.
This is a layup. In NBA terms, it's a slam dunk. If you can get her on the Olympic team, you missed.
Olympic teams, men's and women's. After you get past the top 5 or 6 players, they can be a little political, Cowherd said. He went on to explain that this was more than simply a poor performance on the court. Cowherd's vehement assessment delved deeply into the choices, plans, and leadership that resulted in what he dubbed an Olympic embarrassment.
The Olympic women's team. You guys win gold every year. Your competition's weak. You win it every year. Give us a reason.
Cowherd said that the women's squad should have included both Diggins-Clark and Angel Reese, calling them the future of the WNBA. He proposed moving them to the end of the bench, claiming it would increase attention and sponsorship possibilities for women's basketball. They should have included not just Diggins-Clark, but Angel Reese, because I believe those two are the future of the WNBA, she said. My suggestion is to position them at the end of the bench. They'll draw attention. Let these competitors practice together. Magic and Bird developed a friendship. It's just beneficial for the sport. Ever in league history. Cowherd utilized these numbers to back up his claim that Clark was more than ready for Olympic competition. Cowherd accused women's basketball of treating Clark in a petty and insular manner. He said that the sport was harming itself by not fully embracing and marketing its greatest star, comparing it to how the NBA handled the entrance of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
For historically low self-esteem, where they want to prove
they're trying to get her to pay her dues, but she's the one paying all the fees. She claimed she is the reason you are flying privately. She pays for everything and you expect her to pay her dues. It's ridiculous. He drew similarities with other sports, adding, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Bird and Magic came into the league and they placed them everywhere. They attempted to spotlight them because the NBA was more confident in itself. They saw Bird and Magic's potential to raise all players, the league, revenue, and the pie.
Big mistake the first time, not putting her on the Olympic team. Don't double down on dumb. Get her on the...
Cowherd said that having Clark on the Olympic squad would greatly increase viewership and revenue for women's basketball. He contended that her participation would raise the reputations of all the other players in the club, perhaps leading to more sponsorship agreements overall. I would argue that, like Tiger Woods or Conor McGregor in their peak, she will earn more money for others than herself. Cowherd remarked that rising tides elevate all boats. He anticipated that with Clark on the squad, viewership would double or possibly triple from 7 million viewers to 14 to 18 million with Diggins-Clark, maybe more.
Not only the other women on the team that could get endorsements, but promoting your...
Cowherd also discussed the financial implications for other players, stating the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th best player on the women's Olympic team would make 6 or 7 figures in endorsements.
Anna Taurasi is not one of the 15 best players in the women's game. She's making the team.
Cowherd believes that the decision to keep Clark off the Olympic squad was a serious mistake that the sport should correct quickly. He advised women's basketball not to double down on dumb and to add Clark to the roster to give fans a cause to watch.
About it. The sport made a terrible decision on the Olympic team. the scheduling early, even though they knew she was coming out and probably going to be a #1 pick.
You go ahead and educate us on how you know the game and have covered the Olympics. Good for you. However, part of this is basic business knowledge. This is a layup and you blew it. Cowherd remarked, criticizing those in charge of squad selection. Cowherd likened the scenario to other sports welcoming its superstars, highlighting how Major League Soccer managed to sign Lionel Messi despite wage limit restrictions. It's funny how they got Messi into the MLS. The man earns more than some teams. They found a method to get him into the MLS. They weren't precious or rigid, he said.
No, this is what happens sometimes with soccer fans. They feel ignored, and WA fans feel ignored, so they get very precious.
He described the choice to omit Clark as jumping over a $20 bill to get to a $5, underscoring his belief that it was an obvious error of judgment. Cowherd also addressed the claim that Clark may be a distraction, denying it outright. Your argument, which I don't believe, was that she would be a distraction in women's basketball. I roll my eyes, but it's all right, he remarked. He then pointed out the irony that her absence had become the major subject of conversation, serving as the precise distraction they wished to avoid.
To promote an upcoming Lynx preseason game. At the same time, she voiced her displeasure as she called out the lack of...
The sports commentator's criticism was not limited to the Olympic squad selection. He also criticized the WNBA's handling of Clark's admission into the league. Cowherd noted that the Indiana Fever, despite being the league's poorest club, was assigned the most difficult early schedule. They give her the toughest early schedule in the league over any other team, he remarked, implying that this was done to make life difficult for the rookie star.
They knew a year out she could be the #1 pick. They give her the toughest early schedule in the league over any other team. And remember, the Indiana Fever were the worst.
Cowherd noted connections between the WNBA's handling of Clark and other examples of companies taken off guard by unexpected success. He contrasted it to when Taylor Swift, the singer, became a billionaire with the Eras Tour, and the management team and Ticketmaster had to apologize in about 10 minutes. They couldn't provide enough tickets. They were just completely overwhelmed.
There's a reason that top movie stars and top athletes use the same 4 or 5 agents, because they can handle it.
He said that women's basketball was equally unprepared for Clark's influence, despite having plenty of time to prepare. They knew a year out she could be the #1 pick, Cowherd stated, shocked by the lack of vision. Cowherd also addressed what he saw as a bigger problem in women's basketball, claiming that prior neglect had resulted in an excessively defensive approach. This is what happens sometimes with soccer fans, and they feel ignored, and WA fans feel ignored, so they get very precious, very tribal, very insular.
And, you know, the one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, you know, throughout.
He said he opposed this approach, claiming that it was detrimental to the sport's progress. She's not going to make the USA women's basketball Olympic team, and you're like, are you crazy? Cowherd expressed his amazement at the decision.
She's not going to make the USA women's basketball.
Cowherd also commented on the political element of team selection in men's basketball, stating, look at the men's team. It is political. Jaylen Brown is not on it because Nike does not want him on it. Kyrie Irving is not on it because Nike does not want him on it. He cited these cases to demonstrate that team picks often include criteria other than individual performance, but stated that Clark's judgment was especially heinous.
Again, there you go. Every time she talks, she says the right thing. It reminds me a lot of Taylor Swift. You know, like you.
You're not going to put Caitlin Clark, your Taylor Swift, on the team, he said, highlighting Clark's celebrity and possible influence. Cowherd lauded Clark's on-court performance, highlighting her leadership in assists and good three-point shooting. He emphasized the excellent influence she was having on her club, the Indiana Fever, noting Indiana has won 8 of 12. Yesterday was an excellent example, as she was the best player on the court in the 4th quarter.
There yet? But we may get down to somebody in the Olympics. They can get us back with 3 shots, 9 points in 40 seconds. It's not like you're asking to put...
He also praised Clark's off-court behavior, stating, she says the right things at the podium. There's nothing about her you don't like. Cowherd contended that Clark's induction on the Olympic squad would not only increase television ratings, but also improve the whole sport. Caitlin Clark will increase your television ratings and elevate the sport. Get her on the team. Give us a reason to watch the Olympic women's team, he insisted.
Catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, whereas Tiger and Conor McGregor elevated their sports, Caitlin to some degree... Caitlin, to some degree.
He emphasized that the United States women's team's superiority in international competition made Clark's involvement much more vital, not less. You win gold every year. Your competition needs to be stronger. You win it each year. Could you give us a reason? Cowherd suggested that she would double your television ratings by promoting not just the other women on the squad who might earn sponsorships, but also your sport. Cowherd drew another link to other sports, saying there's a reason why top movie stars and top sportsmen have the same 4 or 5 agents. They can manage it. They stay calm. Women's basketball has felt overwhelmed here.
A WNBA player. She'll be an all-star, but it won't feel like this. Yeah. This was your moment. This was the wave. Grab this.
He compared Clark's potential effect to that of past revolutionary athletes from other sports. You got your Conor McGregor, baseball, Bryce Harper. You know, you got your Messi in the MLS, Cowherd remarked, underlining Clark's star power in women's basketball.
They don't get overwhelmed. Women's basketball has felt overwhelmed here. You got your Conor.
Cowherd concluded by framing Caitlin Clark's placement on the Olympic squad as a slam dunk choice that women's basketball had mysteriously missed. In basketball terminology, this is a layup. In NBA terms, it's a slam dunk, he said. If you can get her on the Olympic squad and miss the first time, do it again. You're doing yourself a favor. He challenged women's basketball decision makers not to get in the way of yourself and to grab the chance Clark represented. Don't leap over a $20 note to get to a 5, as the saying goes. You messed up the first time. Please do not make the same mistake again. Get her on the Olympic team, Cowherd continued, emphasizing his opinion that adding Clark was not just the proper move for the squad, but also for the future of women's basketball in general.
To surpass expectations, already taking down one of the league's very best.
This is what Angel Reese does.
Shannon, Clark, and Angel Reese have brought limelight to the WNBA in recent times. With their rivalry from college into the WNBA, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have become among the most well-known players in women's basketball. Their interactions have often attracted great attention since they highlight their skill and fierce competitiveness.
Clark trying to come back to it. Clark shakes Van Lith into the lane, gets fouled by Reese. And then Angel Reese takes a tumble afterwards.
Let's backtrack a bit. At the University of Iowa, where her remarkable court vision and scoring prowess distinguished her, Clark first created waves. Having an average of 27.8 points per game in her sophomore year, she guided the country in scoring. Among her many honors was the Dawn Staley Award for the top guard in women's collegiate basketball.
As Caitlin Clark is going to go to the line to shoot 2, and oh no, oh my goodness.
Conversely, Reese became known at the University of Maryland as a powerful presence. Her defensive skills and rebounding ability much enhanced her game. She was instrumental in LSU's strong runs in the NCAA tournament and enabled them to earn many Big Ten championships.
The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
During their collegiate years, especially in the 2023 NCAA tournament, Clark and Reese's rivalry became more intense. In the national championship game, a game watched almost 10 million times, Reese's LSU squad defeated Clark's Iowa. Reese's taunting of Clark in the last seconds of that game went viral and stoked their fierce competitiveness.
Now we see Aaliyah Del Rosario come into the game for LSU. She played incredibly well in the Sweet 16.
Brings great size and strength on the interior.
The following year, Clark and the Hawkeyes exacted their retribution in the Sweet 16, effectively ending LSU's campaign. This triumph opened the path for their professional careers and gave their legendary rivalry yet another chapter.
Caitlin Clark is different from any other player we have ever seen.
For Angel Reese, it is her size, her speed, and her strength.
As one entered the WNBA, the expectations of both players were great. Reese was chosen 8th by the Chicago Sky. Clark was selected as the #1 overall choice by the Indiana Fever in the WNBA Draft 2024. Their transition to the professional stage ensured that their duels would continue, drawing even more attention to their matchups.
From us this year, it's been a harder path because we all have felt the expectations as the defending champs, and obviously as a team that gets a whole lot of it.
In their first WNBA matchup, Clark proved why she was the top choice. From the outset, she commanded the floor, guiding her team's plays and aggressively driving to the hoop. Her confident play was clear, and she was willing to attempt huge shots when they mattered. Aaliyah Boston made tremendous screens for Clark, allowing room for her to execute her hallmark shots with accuracy.
Here comes Caitlin. She loves transition. From the corner.
Was worried about getting into foul trouble with their bigs. Keep throwing it inside.
Clark's effect was not limited to scoring. She played a significant part in setting up her teammates, providing shooting chances, and increasing the team's overall performance. Her play in this game highlighted her attacking skill and devotion to defense.
Someone on her that doesn't exactly have that kind of size just seemed a little criminal in my opinion, because Caitlin ate every time, even over that extended arm of Angel Reese. Caitlin gets the shot off, and then
late in the third quarter, the game took a dramatic turn as Reese escalated her intensity. Reese tried to block Clark as she drove toward the basket, but she ended up striking Clark across the face. The officials first reported it as a common foul, but after inspection, they decided the contact was deliberate and changed it to a flagrant foul.
Clark and the Fever started 0-5 on the season, but there's no doubt this young squad is starting to find its stride.
Caitlin Clark celebrates her first win in the WNBA.
Clark was unaffected even in this passionate moment. Her team had a vital lead since she sank the 2 technical free throws. This episode seemed to strengthen her will only. Her unrelenting drive was evident when she scored 9 points in the third quarter's last 5 minutes.
Another. Clark. Too much space.
You cannot put your hands down. Understanding what your strengths and weaknesses are, knowing that Iowa likes to run to transition deep.
Additionally, Clark's defensive abilities were on exhibit. The top scorer for the Sky, Marina Mabry, tried to throw off Clark with a screen. Still, Clark resisted and blocked Mabry's three-pointer try. Grabbing the opportunity, Clark moved quickly to attack, running a pick and roll with Boston, which resulted in a vital laydown.
The highest since 2015, and that's as far back as our records go, as round 3 between Indiana and Chicago is underway.
Clark moved around a screen for the last play of the game, pulling up from deep and striking a 30-footer that drove the Fever ahead by 7 points. Emphasizing her ability to rise to the occasion under great pressure, Clark celebrated her clutch performance, and the arena burst into cheers.
I mean, the three-point contest can't wait for this year after what Sabrina Ionescu did last year. And you got Team USA against Team All-Stars. Clark connects on her third 3 of the game.
Their second consecutive triumph against their Midwest rivals, the Fever's 91-83 victory over the Sky, with a game-high 23 points, almost a triple-double with 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Clark performed absolutely outstanding. Only 4 WNBA players have matched this stat line. Thus, Clark is the only rookie to do so.
Another. Clark. Too much space.
You cannot put your hands down. Understanding what your strengths and weaknesses are, knowing that Iowa likes to run to transition deep.
Reese voiced annoyance with the officials' classification of her contact with Clark as a flagrant foul following the game. She defended her actions, stating that she couldn't control the referees and felt they affected the game significantly.
Into Boston, Clark gets knocked down, no call. Here comes Mitchell, dancing through the lane, scoops it in. Kelsey Mitchell's downhill attack.
This incident wasn't the first contentious moment for Reese this season. Earlier in the month, she was ejected from a game against the New York Liberty after quickly picking up 2 technical fouls. The WNBA later overturned the second technical, acknowledging that she should not have been ejected.
Boston, who also has a 15-5-5 game today. Here's Clark, catch, fire, and connect! 5th 3 of the game.
Reese's series of controversial calls add complexity to her first season in the league. Despite these challenges, she has also displayed her abilities, tying a WNBA rookie record with her 6th consecutive double-double in the same game, gathering 11 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists.
3-second difference game in shot clock. Here is Mabry, dumping it in. Cardoso the catch and the finish. Here's Cardoso working Boston.
Clark's season has been remarkable. Averaging 16.1 points per game, she ranks 17th among elite scorers in the league. Her impressive scoring ability is exactly what made her a prime target for the league's best defenders. In just her first 15 games, she has already faced 14 former all-defensive players.
Her field goal percentages actually go up. Clark trying to draw the foul. Referee signaled to count it.
Despite the intense scrutiny, Clark has maintained a high level of production and poise. Her standout performances have marked her as the top rookie and ensured she is a focal point in every opponent's game plan.
Pace the other way. First in the league in fast break points.
Clark connects on a deep three. Conference will then advance to
Reese and Clark's rivalry has quickly become one of the most captivating narratives in women's basketball. Each game adds a new layer to their competition, drawing significant attention and showcasing their undeniable talent.
Well, you know, it's meeting number 2. Let's do, how about a couple of tips to get this thing going? Eric Bruton is our crew chief. Fatu Sissoko Stevens, Jenna Renew are our officials here today.
Their encounters, beginning in college, have progressively drawn more viewers. They played a pivotal role in setting a record for the most watched women's college basketball game in 2023, attracting nearly 10 million viewers. This record was broken again the following spring, with 12 million fans watching their clash for a spot in the Final Four. As professionals, their rivalry continues to be a major draw. Their first WNBA meeting this season pulled in 1.5 million viewers, marking it as the 4th largest audience for a WNBA game in the last 2 decades. The professional careers of Reese and Clark are just beginning, but their rivalry is already defining their trajectories in the WNBA. Every time they face off, the court becomes a stage for high-level competition, captivating audiences and turning each game into a must-see event. Their intense rivalry and undeniable talent propel women's basketball into a new era of recognition and excitement. Clark's consistent performance, resilience under pressure, and ability to handle aggressive plays highlight her as a key player in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's remarkable journey from college basketball to the WNBA has been characterized by her exceptional skills, competitive spirit, and ability to thrive under pressure. Her ongoing rivalry with Angel Reese continues to draw significant attention, shaping their careers and adding to the narrative of women's basketball. Clark's ability to maintain composure and deliver under pressure has been a defining aspect of her game. Her performance in clutch moments has often been the difference maker for her team. This mental toughness is a trait that sets her apart from many other players. In addition to her scoring, Clark's playmaking ability has been crucial for the Indiana Fever. She consistently finds ways to involve her teammates, making everyone around her better. This unselfish style of play is one reason why she has been so successful in both college and the WNBA. Clark's defensive improvements have also been noteworthy. Initially targeted by opposing offenses, she has adapted and shown significant growth in her defensive game. Her ability to read plays and make crucial stops has become an asset for her team. Reese, while a formidable opponent, has had a more tumultuous start to her WNBA career. Her aggressive style has led to several controversial calls, which have sometimes overshadowed her contributions on the court. However, her ability to secure rebounds and impact the game defensively remains impressive. The dynamics of the Clark-Reese rivalry continue to evolve with each game. Their confrontations are not only about individual performances, but also about how they raise their respective clubs. This constant battle is a crucial narrative in the WNBA, engaging fans and media attention alike. Both players are aware of the spotlight on them and have embraced their roles as leaders. Their rivalry is a testament to their competitive nature and desire to be the best. It pushes them to new heights and ensures that their encounters are always must-watch events. Clark's leadership extends beyond the court. Her poise in handling media and public attention demonstrates maturity beyond her years. She is a role model for young athletes, showing that success comes from hard work, dedication, and maintaining a positive attitude under pressure. Reese's journey, while different, also highlights important lessons. Her resilience in facing criticism and her ability to bounce back from setbacks are commendable. These qualities will undoubtedly help her as she continues to develop her game in the WNBA. The impact impact of the Clark-Reese rivalry extends beyond the court. It has brought more visibility to women's basketball, attracting new fans and increasing media coverage. This increased attention is vital for the growth of the sport and the recognition of the athletes' talents. As the season progresses, the anticipation for their next matchup continues to build. Every game gives their rivalry a fresh chapter and crafts a story that enthralls viewers. Their performances support the larger narrative of women's basketball and help their teams flourish. A trademark of Clark's career has been her capacity for clarity and performance under pressure. Her clutch performances are not just about scoring, but also about making the right plays at the right times. This basketball IQ is what makes her such a valuable player. Reese's physicality and presence in the paint are crucial for the Chicago Sky. Her ability to dominate the boards and alter shots makes her a defensive anchor for her team. Despite the controversies, her contributions are undeniable. The future of women's basketball looks bright, with players like Clark and Reese leading the way. Their rivalry is a microcosm of the competitive spirit and talent that exists in the league. It sets the stage for exciting games and memorable moments. In conclusion, the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is one of the most compelling storylines in women's basketball today. Their competitive nature, combined with their exceptional skills, ensures that their matchups are always highly anticipated. Clark's remarkable journey, characterized by her resilience and clutch performances, continues to inspire fans and elevate the sport.